Hello, everybody. Wednesday, big day today. Lots of news in the Facebook screen, on Google Plus, everywhere. Twitter, very busy day, and perfect. We're looking at trends, which is why we're here. We've got Richard from Talkwalk. You can't see him. He's showing his screen, but I'm going to show you the screen on their new tool, Talkwalk now. We're going to come to that in a little minute. We're going to shout, hello, Richard. We've got a little cracky noise going on with your sound, so we might keep it a brief demo.
Okay.
But you're going to take people through the tool, and there's a free 7-day trial for everybody, and something special for bloggers as well who want access for a little longer. So we're going to tell people about that as well, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So let's dive in. Let's look at what is Talkwalk now. How can people use it? Let's use two examples. Today we've got some big day going on in America. President-elect and all that. And we've also got virtual reality that you and I are, well, I'm slightly pleasantly obsessed by. So if we look at some of the stats maybe on those two things, if that works.
Sure. Yeah, let's dive in.
Let's dive in. You're on the main screen.
So yes, and it's now. So people who have already signed up for the free trial should be able to may have seen this before.
Okay. But if not, we'll give you the link and sign up to it.
Yep. So basically what it shows you is an overview of trends, and we can find them in different ways. One way is to look, if it's virtual reality, for example, you can just enter your search term virtual reality in there and look for all trends around that. But there's also another way, which I'll look at for politics. So that's the big news of the day, of course. So if you go into this, you can search by keyword, you can search by category, you can search by country as well. So
can I go for the dumb questions before we go anywhere?
Yep.
What is a trend?
So it'll be something that we've identified as, it could be a hashtag, it could be a term, it could be a phrase, it could be a new technology. It's really anything that's being talked about a lot on social channels and online. Once we go through the sort of trending clouds, I think you'll be able to see it a bit better. And the other thing we can also show you is which particular stories or tweets are trending at the moment.
Okay, great.
So let's take a look at politics.
So this is going to pull in data from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, online news. Yeah, here we go. So you can see online news, newspapers, press releases. It's really a very wide variety, but you can filter down to whatever you specifically want to see. So if you want to see everything, you can see everything. If you just want to see news, you can just see news. Likewise with Twitter, Facebook, etc.
Okay.
And you can also, sorry.
Yeah, in terms of a user then, so let's say I want to gain insight into the volumes of conversations, the nature of the conversations, the influences, all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a shorter version almost of the whole Talkwalk tool, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like a pared down version to let you instantly see what the trends are, essentially. So on this first screen for politics, we can now see, as you'd imagine, Donald Trump, but also some of the different states that were key in the election: Florida, Nevada, Carolina. Yep. So that gives you a nice quick overview. And
can you hover over though? Let's just hover over one of them. Let's go for maybe one of the states. Perfect, Florida.
Yeah.
And so the data that gets brought up when you show that, if you not if you click it, if you just bring up the hover over, if you could, it isn't quite showing there.
So for this on this version, you can click in to get more information.
Okay, so if you click in, what does that tell us? There we go. Okay, so we bring up a box specific to that. Is this going to give us the tweets, the Instagram post, Facebook thing that's going to give us an idea of what is contributing to that overall trend in volume?
Exactly, right. Yeah. And it will show you the sort of spikes in volume as well. So exactly when. So here we go.
And this is real-time data at this point, isn't it? This is why it takes a while to load, is that it's dragging it all in.
Yeah, and what it's doing, for example, on the topic of politics, it isn't just looking for mentions of the keyword politics. It learns the different articles that are political in nature. So it actually will improve over time. There's an AI element to how it defines the categories.
Good. Okay.
So here we can see the different spikes from the day, and get a quick view of the themes around it. So again, Senate, election, all the themes you'd expect. But then I think this is probably the more interesting bit. This is all the different articles that are talking about Florida. So here we have, for example, a tweet: NY Times calls Florida for Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, Florida. So it just gives you, for something like the election, you might know already what it will be about. It's a way to find out. So why is a particular hashtag trending, or why is this term that I've never seen before trending?
Yeah.
So this is one way to look at it. So below that, this is the overview tab. So you get your cloud here, and so the size of the bubbles reflects the size of the trend.
Yep.
And the color, so if it's a deeper blue, it means it's emerging now, so it's a big trend now. If it's a gray color, it means it's still a big trend, but it's decreasing in the sort of speed at which it's getting shared.
Okay.
And then you get a quick look at it.
Is it primarily shares then? So is it when we say shares, are we talking any social engagement? So +1 comment, likes, hearts, favorites, all of that stuff contributing, or is it primarily shares, reshares?
It'll be primarily mentions of these terms in political articles, political tweets, political Instagram posts, but it will also count retweets, for example.
Because that will count as an additional mention, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we get a quick view of the top hashtags in politics, as you just imagine. Hashtag election 2016, hashtag Trump Clinton, the key influencers, the big news channels from America. And we get a heat map of where the conversation is happening.
Wow, look at how much is in Europe.
Yeah, so we can see big story.
Well, here's the funny thing. So right now we are 3:10 in the afternoon in the UK, and if you look at that heat map and you look at if you look at California, for instance, I guess because it is now, I think the clocks have changed. We're now 7 o'clock in the morning, PST. I guess, yeah. So I think we're 8 hours difference again. So the fact is that California probably hasn't fully woken up and got to the office, or tweeting from home. So the density might well increase over time as well, isn't it? Which is showing how that wave happens with America.
Yeah. Well, at the moment we're on a 1-day view. So here again, we've got the different hour views. So you can choose one of our preset hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, or you can select it yourself if you want to look at something very specific. But let's look, for example, at 3 hours to see what's happened in the aftermath.
Let's have a look. So when you say 3 hours, explain me, go for the dumb bit again, Richard. So 3 hours is the data coming in, the data you're pulling in, that is the activity over the last 3 hours across these channels in relation to the original trending subject, which is what, US elections, was it?
Which is just politics at the moment. This is just politics. It's actually politics worldwide, but of course, as it's a US election, that is the big...
Yeah. We got a little Brexit mentioned down at the bottom there.
Yeah. There was actually quite a big part of the debate, I think, which is interesting. But yeah, now you can really see on the West Coast, there's very little because they're not awake. Whereas in Europe, we see a lot more.
Yeah. Interesting.
So from here now, we can dig down a bit deeper to get more information about these trends. So for example, if we go to stories, now you can get a view of the different posts in a sort of tiled view, which is, it looks quite nice and it's easy to track. But what's interesting here is we can change it to what we call the compact view.
Taking a minute. All of those tweets it's got to go out and read. Poor little AI.
Yeah, it's also doing something a little bit more.
It's a busy day, isn't it?
So now, so now we can see it's sorted by a trending score. Now this is the top trends over the last 12 hours, we say. So, and it's based on, you can see the sort of gradient of the trend here. Yeah. So the steeper the gradient, the higher the trending score. Now, usually we see scores of between sort of 5 or 6 for really big topics, because it's a US election, we're getting 9s and 8s, which means these are things that are spreading extremely fast.
So let's go for application. Let's say I'm a blogger. How can I use this information in order to better position the content that I'm putting out, better inform, make it more accurate, let's say?
Yeah. I think, for example, for big topics like the US election, it might be more about speed. So, for example, if you have a piece of content that you can link back to the election, you can quickly write a tweet based on some new trends that are coming up. If it's about Florida, if it's about Wisconsin, it might be more for editors. But when we look at bigger technology topics, for example, if there's a new console being released or a new update to iOS, these are the sorts of things that you might be able to find before someone else and jump on it quickly. For writing content, I think the virtual reality example is actually
perfect. Let's jump to that.
A bit more useful. So let's have a look at that. And so for a news topic, I think 3 hours is interesting because you can see what's trending now. But for when you're writing content, I think you might want a bit of a broader view of all the things that are happening. So let's just reset ourselves.
Okay.
And look at this.
So that's an overview of everything right now.
Yeah, so this is actually of what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
On any category, in any country.
Okay.
On any topic. So now I've plugged in virtual reality here over the last 30 days. And let's see what we get.
It's rolling. The AI is going out, looking at VR, going fast.
It's a big topic across a lot.
It is a big topic, and that's over a long period of time as well. And I think that's the thing that people need to realise is that this is pushing a lot of data, crunching a lot of data, and the aim is to make it as user. I would not say friendly. I actually think it's about application. It's like, what does it mean? We talked about this before. And it's like, if you can find the why, for instance, the influencers, the nature of the trends, and so conversations that are going on Oculus or HTTP Vive or whatever it is, it's looking for something. And I think for bloggers in particular, people, content creators, it's being able to utilize the information in a way which better informs, as information does, as opposed to a limited source and only going, okay, well, I've seen it in my Facebook feed, therefore. It's like, well, there's a big world out there where a lot of people having other conversations. So
exactly. I think what makes this a bit different to looking for trends on Twitter or Facebook is, one, the analytics, but two, also the fact that we cover much more than that. Every blog, every major news publication we'll look at. So here we get an idea of the different hashtags linked to virtual reality.
Let me have it. I'm going to ask you a question then. So in that lot, is there storytelling or is there music? I doubt that there's the second, but we were talking before. I think music videos, and I've got a thing to write about this, whether it's a blog or video, but I love the music videos I've experienced. I love the apps that are using music. And storytelling is the other one. I'm on a project with storytelling. So I just wonder whether that's moving yet or whether we're still in the top level.
Well, I think that's the other. I think there's a variety of ways to use it. In a way, one is to see the trend, and the other is if you know of something that coming up and it's not there, that may be your opportunity to jump in before anyone else.
Interesting. So tallying this back in with keywords, as in Google Keyword Planner, and looking at how many searches last month. Also tying it back in with Google Trends. And get another reference points. We start to build the map.
So this is just terms of when virtual reality used in any article. So it can be within the text, but something, if you're looking specifically for content that's already been written, we could, for example, just look for when virtual reality is mentioned in the title. Or VR, let's say.
I know Miguel's going to be all over this for VR. He's going to be excited. And then we go to brands, celebrities, events, category, all of that. Well, particularly the celebrities and the brands.
Yeah.
You can follow the Twitter accounts from here, can't you? Or you can click through. Is that right?
Yeah, you can. Well, so for celebrities, I'll show you just once this comes up. It will give you a list of all the different people who are linked to this topic. So, for example, if Mark Zuckerberg is involved in a big VR presentation for Facebook, he'll appear in a bubble. It won't necessarily be his Twitter account. It'll just give you an indication of which kind of people are being mentioned alongside it. If you want to look for the social accounts that are talking about in particular, it would probably work better to go to the influencers tab here.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Just having it.
So, for those that are interested in the trial, this is a 7-day trial, which we'll give you a link to. So, there's something for bloggers. If you choose the blogging category, there's a longer access, which we'll get to. If you need support, you need some help, give us a shout. Because certainly, Richard, what we could do is if we want to bring people into the Slack team, we can always bring people into that. If there's people that want that extra support with asking questions on utilization, we can sort of guide them a little bit. And I know you've got some education videos, but I don't know if you've got some for this as yet.
So we don't have videos, but what we do have is once you sign up for your trial, you'll start receiving some tips from us on how to get the most out of it for different use cases. So it'd be like newsjacking or creating good content, tracking your competitors, this type of thing.
Cool. Excellent.
So here we go. Right. HTC.
Go on, let's go into the Oculus Rift then. Yeah, as soon as I've got one of those. Let's have a look at what we got. And as it happens, I've been at 360 videos at a conference and exhibition this morning. So I shall be sharing those the stories of that in due course, and then using them in the Rift, in the new application that Miguel's been working on. So this is all very apt for me. Right, so what do we have? We've got Oculus Rift as the main one, VR carpets. We've got all of that, the Daydream coming out, which is Google's platform. We then look into, so straight away we can start to see the association. So we're now, the cloud is a level deeper. And the size of them, as with all this, is relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The bigger the size, the more of a theme it is in relation to virtual reality. So this will be in relation to Oculus Rift and virtual reality. So we see all the competitors there, and a few different Twitter accounts of people who are talking about it. So that could be another interesting way, perhaps, to outreach your content once you've written it. If these are the people in the know or who are talking about it, it might be worth getting in touch with them.
Yeah. Interesting, because from a research tool point of view, it's not waiting to be spoon-fed, and you've actually got to go out and do the work. You've got to go and find the people, but this surfaces the likely relevant content that you need to be looking at.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, whenever we write content here, we try and read around to see lots of different articles about the topic to try and get a feel of what it is that people really want to know or are interested in. So I think it really speeds up that process instead of just going to Google and typing virtual reality or going to Facebook or Twitter and doing the same. You get a better view of what is actually of interest to people. Yeah. I think that's where the analytics comes in, really. You get a way to compare the different trends rather than just seeing what comes up the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so shall we jump to how people can get a trial and a play around?
Yeah. So there's a link which I can show. If you go to the talkwalker.com website.
Yeah.
And we go here.
So you go on the back and we get the Talkwalker Now, viralize your content.
Yeah,
I'll put the link into the description on the video.
Yeah, we can send the link, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you just click on try it for free.
That's it. And then you're in.
You can fill out your details and you'll get your access straight away.
Good. And if you go in the job title, if you drop down, there's a blogger option, isn't there? Yeah. Professional blogger. And we've done this before, which worked very well, is people can have longer access. You don't have to write a whole article on the tool, but if you want longer access, it just means that you'll link back and just mention if you've got insight. But Richard will reach out to you. And how long are you going to give people on that if they...
Well, if you can write a blog using TalkWalk, using your TalkWalker Now trial, and you link back to us, we'll give you access for 3 months. And the top
3 months.
Yeah,
guys, pick up on that. That's very, very useful, Richard. And this is a pro tool. It's a corporate tool. It's used by a huge number of businesses now. That's my understanding from, and having seen it grow over the time. So I think that's a great offer. So if people are looking for a difference, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's something that Marie Claire, the publisher, are using to try and find trends for their content, and they use it at the moment to stay ahead of their competitors, essentially. Find the trends quickly and write quickly. Obviously, they have a very big team, so it's a bit easier to do. Yeah. But yeah, that's how they use it.
Well, what we'll do, I'll work out, if anybody's interested, ping me, and I'll bring you into the community. And Richard, if you're happy, we'll just make sure people are supported and guided. Because I love this. I love seeing another perspective, because we all get caught in our own data sets otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think they're also seeing how people will use it. It's going to be very useful. Yeah. So let's see what we can do to help the community gain access and make a difference with it.
Yeah. And as soon as you sign up, we'll start sending you the tips so you can get more out of it. And of course, feel free to contact myself. If you have any problems.
Perfect. Richard, thank you very much. So talkwalker.com, go to the page, but it's actually going to be talkwalker-now-sign-up. I'll put the link in the description, and have fun, enjoy. VR and the present, all in one package, in one video. Hopefully, you're going to sign up now, and Richard and I will be able to continue this conversation with you over the next couple of months. It's going to be fun. I've used the tool. I've used the full tool, and in fact, I did a piece on Donald Trump a while ago. So it wasn't on that. It was actually on insight into general. I can't. In fact, Thomas Morphy did the full one on the elections. I was using this at the time in order to gain insight into Trump's properties and reviews and all around that space. So check the PlushYourBusiness.com blog, and you'll see the other. We did lots of bits at the time. That was back in June, July, wasn't it, Richard?
Yeah.
So you'll see beautiful graphics as well, and that's something that people can appreciate adding to their content too. There we have it. Wonderful. Right then, folks, we're going to leave you for today. We'll check out the links, put it in the description, sign up for the trial, have a play around. Tips coming to your inbox soon.
Great.
There you go. Bye. Take care. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
I shall see you soon. Cheers.